So that was AI. Hello, everybody, again. Welcome back. I hope you're all good. This week's video is kindly sponsored by acestudio. This is their software, the AI voice generator tool, or software, should I say. Really, really cool. Great video to show you this week about how you can work it in drum and bass, obviously, because that's a drum and bass track of mine. Big shout out to Kim, first of all, the vocalist, the original vocalist, and to Erbman, who did the original version. This is my remix of that, a track called 5 Years, so if anyone wants to know. Okay, so yeah, really excited about this one. acestudio, what does it look like? This is what it looks like. So it's really logically laid out, should I say. From left to right, here's your voices. So these are all the vocalists that you can use. So there's 70 or something like that. Different languages, you can have them in. They're obviously AI models on voices, so you can actually choose any type here, what kind of style you want. There'll probably be a style that'll fit to what you're probably looking for. Obviously, I'm doing drum bass, and I just went through some and I thought, okay, that one sounds cool, but I've not really gone too deep into these other ones, so we can do that together. Yeah, rock styles, obviously, like I say, the languages and stuff. You get a kind of description of what they are and also their names as well. It's really simple to add them. You can just drag and drop or double click them in. I'll show you that quickly. So maybe Draco there, just drag it in and there's your singer. If you want to delete, you can just right click and delete. You can solo and mute each track. Each track also has effects and a built-in mixer section as well, which is really, really cool. So you can actually, it's almost like a track inspector for my Cubase regular subscribers. But yeah, it's really, really good. So you can search for your voices. Up at the top here, you have your transport. So it's not too heavy on the eyes as well, as far as actually getting something down. You're not bogged down by loads of menus and pop-ups. It's literally a one-window workflow, which is really, really cool. Okay, so here's the vocals. Literally, you get a stem of your vocals. You can actually record your own in and all that kind of stuff. So this is the vocal stem of the track. One of my good friends, Kim, big shout out to Kim, who did the vocals for this. So I've got her vocals here. You can just drag them in as a WAV file. You get to see it as well, which is great. I literally then can click on it and I can see the WAV file, I can see the headroom, all that kind of stuff. I can right click as well and we get to change the colors. We can deactivate the clip, which we'll show you in a minute. We'll need to do that anyway. And obviously then we have the AI tools, which are here. So stem splitter itself, so you can actually stem out stuff, and the vocal to MIDI lyrics. There's also a new choir mode as well, which we'll quickly have a look at, which has been updated recently from when I last had the version. So really, really simple. Here's the vocals. Let's listen to it in full so we get an idea.
5 years on from now, I'm moving on. I used to miss you now. My pain has gone.
The reason why I'm laughing there is because there's a little phone in the background, because we recorded this a long time ago, and that little yeah, the in the studio, not the wonderful of iterations of the mics that we had at the time, and it's picking up everything like taxi ranks and all that kind of stuff. That's why I was laughing at that bit. Okay, so you hear her vocals, great vocals, and it's slight processing. Well, there's quite a bit processing in here on the chain, the original chain. So there's like reverb, there's delay, there's a width enhancer, literally a full-on chain. We did this quite a long time ago, this version of these vocals. So really simple. I've picked a vocalist here. She's called Elira. So she drops in here. This is off, by the way. So off and on, disable, enable for your vocals. Leave it off for now, obviously. And it's literally a simple case of this. I drag the vocals to my lane. You get a little dialogue, helpful dialogue. Release to convert it to the vocal to a MIDI clip. Let go of it, and then I get this dialogue. So I get to choose, you know, do I want the pitch from the original vocal, the language of the audio. Really, really powerful stuff. I'm going to disable the pitch here because I want to change the pitch myself, which I'll show you in a minute. So I'm going to convert it. And look at that. That's ridiculous. Like, I haven't got the fastest computer. This is like a 9.9. I'm assuming on the other the higher I9s and the M1s and all that kind of stuff, 2s and 3s, and obviously now 4s, but just to show you that like, this computer's 3 years old now, and that was rapid. I thought it'd be hugging a bit, but it wasn't. That's really impressive. So you heard her vocals. Now I just dragged this into this Lyra track. I'm going to turn her on there and have a listen to this.
5 years on from now, I'm moving wide. I used to miss you now. My pain has gone. Oh,
Wow.
oh,
Let's see this one.
oh,
Oh, okay.
oh.
Really nice. That's amazing. That's no tweaking, throwing things in, literally picking a singer. And obviously there's 70 singers and there's full tweakability in this, as we'll show you in a minute. Very, very, very impressed. Okay, so now if I press Control, I'm on the PC here, I can zoom in and stuff as well, so I can actually get to see things within this arrangement of the vocals. So let's go back to the very beginning. And you can see here, if I go back to the beginning, you can see here, so I've Weirdos from now, and the track's called 5 years on from now. So the great thing is now is not only do I get to see the lyrics, which is great, I can see them, I can zoom in on stuff with Control there, I can zoom right in, I can see the key, I can see the key of the vocals. They're actually in the MIDI format, so I can actually change the pitch of them as well, which is great, which I'll show you in a minute. So now I can actually then, okay, say that beginning was a bit, I've Weirdos on from now, but this is the great thing. So now I can double click on that. Now I can actually change the lyrics on this line. Wow, opens up so many options now. So it's 5 years. So I'm going to type 5 years on from now and leave it like that. So let's go back to it. And here we go.
5 years on from now,
That's better.
I'm moving on.
I like that bit.
I used to miss you now. My pain has gone. Oh.
So this little bit here, you can see now the little inflection a bit and then down a bit. So that's great. That's fine. I can just zoom in on here. Now this is what's also cool. You can see the pitch and stuff here. Now we get to change all the different options with the tool set at the top. So we have these tools here. So a pitch eraser, I can erase the pitch, I can flatten the pitch. We have a brush and a pitch brush as well. So the pitch brush means that I can then literally just draw in any type of pitch I can see. So I can actually maybe join some parts in that maybe the pitch needs to be sort of consistent, if you know what I mean. So you can see here that little inflection that goes up there. I might want to make it a bit more natural, so I can just draw a pitch line right across it. And now listen. And now listen.
Has gone. Oh.
More natural.
Oh.
And that's also cool as well is I can then, I like to zoom in by the way, it's just a lot easier to see things. You can see the little vibrato there. I can add more vibrato, so I can actually then add a vibrato node, and then I can actually change, make it more, or maybe make it less as well. You can actually change the frequency, the phase, and the amplitude, which is the volume of it as well. So I can maybe flatten it out a little bit there. More like it, that's more like it. And I can go right across the whole track like this. So you can really, really customize and tweak up your sounds here. But also, what's really cool is it's got expression tools. So the bottom lane will be expression tools. Top one's your tools for changing the actual pitches and stuff, and the brushes and the notes and all the values. But at the bottom pane here, we have breath, we have air, falsetto, tension, energy, and formant. So for instance, if I go into breath, I can actually add a breath here. So now when, I was going to say Kim sings, but it's actually when Lyra sings, you then get that breath. So this is going to actually add a breath before you then sing again, which is quite more natural, I think. Here's the breath. I love that. I absolutely love that. And then if I go to note mode, you can audition. That's actually the sound of the vocals. That's actually playing the riff of the vocals in key. So that's, yeah, it's really, really powerful stuff. Let's carry on with it. I quite like the breaths, so we're going to have some more breaths here. So there's our bit again. The 5 weirdos. I love the fact we can just write your own lyrics. This is incredible for me. This is like, how many times have you got a vocalist, or you might be working a vocalist and they might be far away and you can't come in to get a certain bit again. You might want to just try out different lines and different lyrics and different ideas. You just literally type in your lyrics now, and then there's infinite options, which I'll show you in a second, how you can make it more and more and more and more creative for yourself. So changing that to 5 years again.
Years are from now, I'm moving on.
Go on, give us another breath.
Years are from now, I'm moving on. I used to miss you now.
Breath.
My pain has gone.
That is just, I just love that, the way you can do that. And obviously then you have loads of expression tools here, the formant, you can change the energy type, you can change the tensions, obviously we've shown, the air, should I say, the breath, which we've shown, sorry, falsetto and air. Energy is a good one as well, you can add energy to each note and stuff, so make it even more dramatic. Really, really good stuff. So then you have these vocals, so you're going to say to yourself, right, so okay, I want to tweak them more. Where do I go more with this? I can show you that. So the vocals have a nice sort of sound, and this is great the way it's picked them up and picked what Kim was singing on an affected track. It was laced in reverb and delay, and the way it picked them notes up and the words up that she was singing is amazing. And obviously there's millions of singers as well. So how can I expand upon that? So the vocals I'm happy with. I've done some tweaks. I want more. I want it to sound bigger. I want to start getting more into it. So I click on the track. I can right click and I can change my colors. This is great for color coding certain vocalists, for instance. So I can then also right click and I can say here, create vocal doubles. So I can actually then double track these vocals as well, which is amazing. So here you can see here, double track vocals, take effect on user pitch, take effect on voice mix. 90% of the similar of the original, because obviously you're double tracking it, so it'll just be a clone otherwise, and then you can get phase and all that kind of stuff. So you're not going to do that. You want it to just be similar. If you have vocals and they're doing harmonies and all that kind of stuff, they're not identical singers, and that's what you want. So it just I suppose it adds to make it more natural. So create, and there you go. So now there's a lyra, and there's a left lyra, and there's a right lyra. Tongue twister. So let's go back to the beginning and now listen to the difference of this vocals now.
5 years on from now, I'm moving on. I used to miss you now, my pain has gone.
So that's really cool. So now I can expand upon it with the effects now. So we actually have effects built into this now. So in the effects here, you can see here there's 4 effect slots. Let's expand upon these a bit more. So after your conversion, you converted your sound, you converted your vocals, and you want to make more of the vocals. You want to make them bigger and dig into the effects more, because this is what's great about this software is there's lots of stuff in here ready to get it just right before you then move it to your DAW. So you can actually really zero in on what you want. So there's 4 individual presets here. So this is for the EQ, by the way. So I can turn the EQ on, and we'll listen to it in a second, but they're based on presets. So the first one is a lead, so you're going to have some low cut taken out and some high shelf added. So obviously with a microphone, you get that low end rumble, that noise. That low end energy isn't needed because it will affect eventual mix and then a pre-master, then eventual master. So it really takes that murkiness out, and the high shelf will give you that sort of sharp cut through. And if I look at Cubase, this is what it'll probably be doing. So on Cubase, this is actually the female lead preset in Cubase, and it's doing exactly the same thing. So well done, acestudio, on that, because this is what it would do, and this is how you would do it, and that's exactly the preset that they've added for you as well. So low cut taken out, and then the high shelf there cutting through at 5K. So if I go back to acestudio, let's have a listen to it with that lead preset, should I say?
5 years
Nice.
I've run now. I'm moving on.
So that's great. So that's that, you can hear it now. It's that sharpness is there. It's a bit more open, and that low end rumble's kind of taken out as well. So then you have lead bright as well. Lead bright will literally be a bigger high shelf and a higher lower cut. So it's gonna cut further up the mix.
5 years I've run now. I'm moving on.
And you can hear that. So, and then also we have the back end one as well. The back end preset will be literally be doing that. It's for harmonies. So we can look at the harmonies and layering and stuff like that later on. But harmonies it is for, you know, like doubling up vocals, multiple vocalists, even the choir mode, which we'll show as well. Less low and less mid as well. So things can fit and sit a lot better. Let's have a listen.
5 years I've run now. I'm moving on.
And then we have the choir mode. So on the choir, if I go to the choir, and then we see it here.
5 years I've run now. I'm moving on.
And that's literally, it does what it says. So the choir is designed for a more sort of, it's like a wider preset, and it's less mids as well. So obviously, choir's a lot. Well, it's not a lot, but it's a few vocalists together. So you don't want them all cluttered, and literally want that width there as well, because obviously when you're adding it, you're adding enhancement, and that's what that's doing. So compressor speaks for itself. We're going to make the quieter parts louder. We're going to even out the vocals. This is a good one.
5 years I've run now.
Without.
5 years I've run now.
And then, of course, with it being a compressor, I can turn the gain up. So obviously I can use the level fader, but it's better to use the compressor because that's what it's doing. You're adding, this is almost like you're adding auto makeup gain now. So you're making it louder automatically and compressing it at the same time. So it's a great way of boosting vocals. It's a trick I'd probably use a lot in mixing and mastering.
5 years I've run now.
So you can see you can get some hefty level out of that, which is really good. The next one, de-esser, does what it says. Literally, you're changing the S's and all that kind of stuff, and it's pretty much EQing them out, them kind of frequencies. It's leveling out the S's, and that's what the de-esser does. So obviously it depends on the vocalist. Look at all the range of vocalists. So you may or may not use or need it that much, and I guess it depends on the source vocals as well. Reverb speaks for what it says. Speaks for itself. With the reverb, which is great, you have algorithms. So you have room, you have hall, church, cinematic. Let's have a listen to them all. So the first one is, I'm going to go with room. I use this one quite a lot.
5 years I've run now. I'm moving on. I used to miss you now. My painted head.
Really nice. Let's flick through the rest of them.
I used to miss you now. My painted head's gone.
You know what? I really like the cinematic one. Cinematic, love that. Not for this track, but it's great that you can do that. That's a really nice reverb.
I used to miss you now.
It's almost like a tape delay effect that you can get on things. Yeah, really, really cool. So that one's good. I really like that. I also like the church one, to be honest, which is quite nice.
I used to miss you now. My painted head's gone.
I'm going to stick with hall for now. So that is literally a chain. So I actually can have an effects chain in here before I go to a door, before I go to anything else, before I do any other sort of tricks and stuff like that with the vocals. And I can obviously, which is great, I have a one pass bypass button, so I can actually then really get a feel for how they're all sounding together without getting a bit lost in all the plugins.
Used to miss you now. My pain has gone. Oh, oh.
So you can hear a real difference there with that chain. So finally, let's just listen to it with the cinematic because I really like that. And the compressor, I'm going to get a little touch more gain. And let's take it back to here and have a listen. Really, really cool. If I go to the voice section, I can blend different voices and styles together, which is great. Back to the mixer mode, obviously your levels and your panning, which is great. So not only can you pan the singers, but you can actually choose what amount of pan you want on each side. Really, really clever. Now, this is the fun bit. So you have your vocals. Now, this is where your creativity comes in. And you know, drum bass is about that, for instance, like with vocals, beats, basses, all that kind of stuff, instruments. It's taking things further and being more creative, making things more your own signature sounds and stuff. So this is what's really good. So if you scroll down here, you can see there's other singers. So Emma, Ebba Rose, Zauze, Trine, Tangerine, Orange, David, and so on and so on and so on. So I can then choose to, for instance, have a backing track with a lyra with another vocalist. So really simple. I can choose the main track. I can either copy and paste it or I can duplicate it. So I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go to Emma, for instance, click on Emma's track. I'm going to paste it. So there's Emma now. So if I turn Emma on here, this little enable button, I should hear now a lyra, the backing tracks, and Emma together.
5 years on from now,
And I can solo Emma.
I'm moving on.
This is nice.
I used to miss you now. My pain has gone.
With the others. So that's really cool. So that gives you ultimate ideas to then be, you know, with your vocals really creative. So you're not just double tracking vocals and panning them left and right. You're actually adding different singers. So you're adding a sort of like a backing singers, you know, like your own stack of backing singers. And speaking of backing singers, this is also cool. There's actually a choir track where you can actually do just that. So in the choir track, I can choose different singers that are going to be part of the choir. I can actually then choose to have their closeness to the mic, their spatial elements, where I want them to be, where I want them to sit in the space, where I want them to fit. I can actually move them around. I can change the room effect. Obviously, I can choose the room as well, what kind of choir room it is. If I turn it on and I do the same thing as before, remember I've already got the copy and paste from the last track, so I can do the same one again because we're literally using the same stuff. I'm going to put it in there. I'm going to solo the choir. This is going to be 5 Elyras.
5 years on from now.
Let's turn up a bit.
5 years on. 5 years on from now. I'm moving.
Okay, so you can see it's quite roomy. So it's quite big there. Studio room. Let's maybe take the room effect off. I'm just going to use these now. We're literally going to change the vocals. So we're going to put in, let's add an Emma into this choir. Then we're going to add, let's add Maximus in here as well. I don't want to go too mad with this because I don't know if the computer can handle all this, to be honest. Let's delete that. I'm going to go for 5 singers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 3 Elyras, an Emma, and we have a Maximus. Let's check this one out. This is random, by the way, what I'm just doing.
5 years on from now, I'm moving on.
Maybe take some of these lyras out.
I used to miss you now.
Maybe take some of these lyras out.
5 years on from now,
Nice.
I'm moving on. I used to miss you now. My pain has got.
And so there you go. So I mean, that's really cool. Like, options galore now. Let me close this inspector down so we get a bit more real estate. So not only can you have your singers, you can double track them, but you can also mix and match the singers and also have a choir mode where you can actually have a choir set, how far or close to the mic you have them, mix and match all the singers within one track lane, and then export it out. So let's listen to some of the singers, and then we're going to go back to Cubase. So I'm going to turn it off. We're going to go with... We're going to go with... Take the solo off. We're going to go with... Right, turn all them off. And we're going to... Actually, no. We're going to leave a lyra on, and we're going to choose a different backing for a lyra. So we had Emma. Let's try Ember Rose. She's already activated there. I'm going to paste. Remember, the choir channel's muted, so that's good. Let's see how that sounds. So Ember Rose is backing with a lyra.
5 years on from now.
That's really cool. Let's try Ember Rose with, I don't know, Tangerine. And then we're going to disable a lyra because we've been using it quite a lot. Here we go.
5 years on from now,
Solo.
I'm moving on.
Very cool.
I used to miss you now. My pain has gone.
Let's listen to some more because I'm intrigued now. I've only gone through a handful of these. So let's try Orange. So I'm literally just going to drag the clip down. Let's just turn off everyone else. Or I could just solo, to be honest. It's probably easier to just solo. Let's solo. Enable.
5 years on from now, I'm moving on.
Nice.
I used to miss you now.
Let's try David.
Five years on from now,
Nice.
I'm moving on.
This is a cool one.
I used to miss you now. My pain has gone.
Very nice. Let's listen to Clara Epic. Okay, Clara Epic. Let's do this.
5 years on from now, I'm moving on.
This is a smooth one.
I used to miss you now. My pain has gone. Oh,
Oh, I like that.
oh.
And don't forget, obviously, when I click on here, I can then change, the pitch, the expression, the notes. I can change the length, I can change the vibrato, I can change the lyrics. So when you find a singer that you're really happy with, not only can you do all them things I've shown you before, backing and layering and double tracking, all that kind of stuff, but you can actually then really dig deep and change how they sound. And that's not even including the effects that are built into the S's and stuff like that, and also the choir mode and mix and matching and that. So yeah, I love this. It's really powerful, it's really creative, and when you're happy with everything, I think we listen to enough singers now. When you're happy with everything, simple export, where it'll just quickly get your menu up for exporting. So this is actually your inspector for exporting. So you can choose with or without effects. You can then choose whether you want to do the master. You can choose whether you want to do the selected tracks or the individual tracks. So this is great for instance, say you find loads of vocalists that you kind of like, but you don't want to use them all together, but you might want to mix and match and try them later on in different ideas or different productions. You can then literally say, okay, give it me dry without effects, and then maybe give me all the individual tracks. And that way, you have a nice little artillery of vocalists that you can then choose for mixing and matching ideas. You can always save the projects and go back in as well if you need to tweak some lyrics and just type them in. Literally, just type in your lyrics. So really, really powerful. And obviously then you have sample rate, bit rate, depth, all that kind of stuff, and then just export it out. And it's quite quick as well exporting. Cubase users, not too far away for the length of the track that a Cubase export would happen. So if you use normal exports of stems in Cubase, it's not too dissimilar from that speed-wise. So there you go. That was acestudio, the AI vocal studio, which is amazing. Go check it out. It's in the comments. Let's listen to some more drum and bass, and I'll see you next week. Be safe. Peace.